Hello and welcome to Friday's calendar.
Yes, hello, good evening. Coming up tonight.
You're under arrest on suspicion of the murder of James Cook.
Decades in jail for the man who stabbed a father from Newark and left him for dead in the street after a pub fight.
There's not a day that I don't miss my son and wait for him to come back through the door.
Snake Pass is closed after a large-scale moor fire broke out in the Peak District overnight. Crews from 4 fire services are battling the blaze.
How the kindness of strangers and a world first from doctors in Sheffield helped save the life of 17-year-old Ahmed Khan.
And as we've now said goodbye to one of the sunniest Aprils on record, is it ice cream or a hot drink for the long weekend? Of course, all the detail a little later on.
It's becoming an all too familiar and devastating sight. And once again, firefighters are battling a moorland blaze, this time at Snake Pass Summit in the Peak District.
Broke out last night and is covering an area more than 100 football pitches in size, with crews from 4 counties trying to bring it under control on the ground and from the air. Firefighters from Derbyshire, Greater Manchester, West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire are continuing to work alongside partners from the Fire Operations Group, including local gamekeepers and landowners, and Derby Mountain Rescue have all been involved.
Well, the Snake Pass between Glossop and Lady Bower Reservoir has been closed for most of the day as emergency services deal with what they're describing as large-scale wildfire. Well, let's get the very latest from Rob Smith, who's just sent this report from the sea.
It's big, the words of one firefighter trying to deal with this tonight, and perhaps that is something of an understatement. 222 acres of land around the Snake Pass has either burned or is burning tonight. The fire started late last night. One member of the mountain rescue team who was up here described it to me as looking like, quote, the gates of hell, and it has carried on spreading throughout the day. The crews that are trying to put it out have been desperately hoping for a change in the weather, desperately hoping for rain. That has not arrived. The only change they have got has been a change in the wind direction, which has whipped it in various different directions, spreading it left, right and centre.
We're going to try to get the road opened as soon as we can because we're conscious that people need to get home from work. We're just about to enter the bank holiday weekend with a hot, dry weather. We're aware that people want to come out and enjoy the countryside, so we'll try to minimise that disruption as much as possible. But what we would ask members of the public to be understanding, to keep away from the area so it doesn't interfere with our operations. And again, because of the hot weather, really to take on board that safety advice and take care when using the countryside. They've got a helicopter up here as well, which is dropping water, trying to stop it spreading beyond the ridge that you might be able to make out behind me. There is a selection, a ridge of trees behind there, and they are very worried about what happens if it gets in there. They're conifers. It's going to make it much more difficult, far more dangerous to try and fight it. So the helicopter is concentrating on dropping water on that. They've got a multitude of fire engines up here, all-terrain vehicles, drones, and massive containers of water. They think they will be up here dealing with it. It's about 100 personnel at the moment trying to put it out. They think they'll be up here dealing with it all the way until Bank Holiday Monday, potentially. The road is going to stay shut while they do that, and they're appealing to everyone who lives around here not to come up here, not to have a look, and keep their doors and windows closed because this stuff is drifting through the air.
And that was Rob Smith reporting there from us from the Snake Pass. Well, next, exactly a year on from his death, a Newark father's murderer has been jailed for 23 years.
40-year-old James Cook was stabbed repeatedly on a night out by Brandon Byrne and left for dead in the street.
Well, today, Mr Cook's family has spoken to ITV News about their loss. Emma Wilkinson has the story.
Brandon Byrne is hunting for James Cook. Armed with a knife, incensed and injured after a fight between the pair just minutes before, he chases James down and stabs him to death in the street. But this is how James's loved ones like to remember him. Cheeky, charming and enjoying life.
It's still unreal. There's not a day that I don't miss my son and wait for him to come back through the door. He was our rock. He was my boy. And the way he died, he didn't deserve to die.
When people describe someone as the heart of the family, I don't think other people understand that we truly do mean it.
He's left a great big gaping hole in all our lives, and that hole's never going to be filled, even with time. And as a mother, you want to take that pain away, but I've had to say to him, you've just got to go through it. We can't go over it, we can't go around it, we've got to go through it.
That night a year ago started as an ordinary evening in a pub for a few drinks. James Cook and Brandon Byrne were standing in separate groups around a pool table when something was said that led to them coming to blows. They both left the pub, but Byrne, with a significant injury to his lip, didn't want to leave it there. He chased James Cook down the street, and when he caught up with him, he stabbed him. He then kicked him in the head and then stabbed him again while he lay injured on the floor before walking away.
Yeah, stand up. Put your hands behind your back.
But police soon caught up with Brandon Byrne.
Did he die?
Did he die, he asks police, knowing he'd left James bleeding in the street. Adele has since been working to get bleed kits in public places, which can help stop severe bleeding until emergency services arrive.
As a mother now, I'm trying to navigate that pain and put it into something positive, like Cookies Crusaders, and making sure that the town of Newark and everywhere else never ever forget him, because he was unforgettable.
Adele says she will continue to campaign to reduce knife crime in James's memory, and while she does that, Brandon Byrne will have decades to reflect on the consequences of his actions that night. Emma Wilkinson, ITV News.
And thank you to Adele and her family for speaking to us. 3 teenagers have pleaded not guilty to the murder of a 16-year-old girl in Leeds. Chloe Watson-Dransfield was killed by a stab wound to the chest as she walked along Kennerley Avenue in the Osthorpe area of Leeds in the early hours of Saturday, the 28th of March. 19-year-old Archie Rycroft appeared in the dock alongside a 17-year-old boy who can't be named at Leeds Crown Court today. 18-year-old Kayla Smith appeared via a video link.
A fire that engulfed a factory in Bradford is still under investigation, with officers unable to enter the property due to structural instability. Emergency services were called to the site on Bowling Park Close after the blaze broke out on Wednesday. 15 crews from West Yorkshire Fire and Rescue Service attended at its height. Now, if you rent your home privately, today brings the biggest boost to your legal rights in a generation.
It's called the Renters' Rights Act, and it is now law, effectively ending no-fault evictions and giving you much greater long-term security.
It's a major shift for our region. Nick Smith has the details on what this means for you.
The private rental market is where roughly 1 in 5 of us call home, and now it's subject to a host of new rules in the Renters' Rights Act. Here at this lettings agency in Sheffield, they've spent many months getting in touch with their clients to make sure they're aware of what it means.
The changes to the tenancy agreements that will all now become periodic agreements, which are month by month. So tenants can give a landlord 2 months notice and leave without having to, be within a fixed term anymore. That's obviously very different for landlords who do need to give a lot more notice. They have to give 4 months notice to a tenant if they want to leave.
The key features of the Renters' Rights Act include abolishing Section 21 or no-fault evictions, rent control measures, meaning landlords must adhere to market rates, the right to own a pet unless there's a valid reason not to, and outlawing rental bidding wars, meaning properties must be let at the rent advertised. Nye Jones is a renters' rights campaigner and has long experience living in various private rentals. He says the Act provides a solid foundation for more secure housing.
So I've been renting coming up to nearly a decade now, experienced a range of different issues, including really poor quality homes, I've seen more and more of my income swallowed up by rent as well. Having to be uprooted from homes at short notice and having to find somewhere new to live. So what the Renters' Rights Act will do, it will mean that we have much greater security in our homes and therefore more ability to kind of use our new rights and hold landlords to account.
1 in 5 tenants were faced with eviction in the past year. Ending the no-fault eviction would change the fundamental relationship between a landlord and a tenant, creating stability and predictability. But security is not just about evictions, it is also about housing conditions and affordability.
Those representing landlords say while the Act encourages responsible practices, there's concern over the length of time it takes to evict problem tenants and those in rent arrears.
We will have longer notice periods. We will be at the behest of the court system that takes on average 8 months currently to deal with possession claims. That's only going to increase with the lack of preparedness for court reform and these changes. So landlords will need to exercise their responsibilities very carefully.
The government says it is supporting landlords through this process, and an additional £18 million has been handed to local authorities for enforcement and to help manage disputes, in what could well be the biggest shake-up in the rental sector for a generation. Nick Smith, ITV News.
Now then, still to come on Friday night's calendar, we've some breaking Sheffield Wednesday news.
And after a lovely day across the region today, looking back at last month, of course, April, it was sunny, but also very dry. So we'll be getting some much needed rain for the long weekend. Is it coming at the right or the wrong time? All the detail a little later on.
Thank you, Kerry. So, to that breaking news, Arif is here and there is good news for once coming out of Hillsborough.
Yeah, that's right, Lara. The champagne corks are popping at Sheffield Wednesday with the takeover now complete.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
It's my understanding the takeover of Sheffield Wednesday has now been completed, with an official announcement due to come in the morning. This picture from the club's official social media account shows the new owners and chief administrator enjoying a glass of champagne. The American consortium, led by father and son duo David and Michael Storch, will take over from Dejphon Chansiri, who put the club in administration back in October.
If you've not been here, you cannot imagine how tough it has been, but how we have grown as a club. So this, I think, relief. That the past is the past, and now we can start to look into the future.
Sheffield Wednesday fans have made a lot of sacrifice, and Sheffield Wednesday fans deserve the chance for a brighter future. I honestly believe, having had several discussions with the new ownership group already, being fortunate enough to have that privilege, I do believe that Sheffield Wednesday's best days are ahead.
Now to matters on the pitch, and Leeds kick off a big weekend of football tonight as they take on Burnley at Ellen Road. A win would take Leeds 9 points clear of the drop zone. Burnley, who are already relegated, sacked manager Scott Parker yesterday. And speaking before the sacking, Daniel Farke says it won't be an easy game for his team.
I'm very, very respectful. I expect a very, very difficult game. Also, like my team has the experience of the last couple of years, how difficult it always was against Burnley. And for that we are concentrated, focused, highly motivated. But want, of course, also to win as many points as possible.
Now, if it's the final day of the EFL season, isn't it? What still needs to be decided then?
Lots to still to be decided, Lara. Let's get into it. Let me tell you, Bradford City are looking to secure their spot in the League One playoffs. The Bantams are 5th, so avoiding defeat will mean that they finish in the playoffs. And goalkeeper Sam Walker says they'll give themselves the best chance of achieving another promotion.
It's been amazing to be a part of and to see the transformation in moving this club forward now. And like I say, we've earned the right to be a top-end League One team and club. And hopefully on Saturday we earn the right to go into the playoffs and give ourselves a chance at becoming a Championship club.
Now, both ends of the table in League Two are, if it's all to play for, it would seem.
Yeah, that's right, Ian. Let's start at the top. And Chesterfield, who are in the final playoff spot, play Swindon, who are 1 point and 1 place below them. So avoiding defeat down in Wiltshire would mean the Spirates will finish in the top 7 and go into the playoffs. It is, though, a different picture at the bottom of the table, as Harrogate need help from elsewhere to avoid dropping out of the Football League. A look at the tables just shows how tight it is. Harrogate there in the relegation zone on goal difference, so they need to better Crawley's result to stay in the division. And manager Simon Weaver says he'll have half an eye on results away from Wetherby Road.
I'll get reminders from the physio, just have a whisper every so often, that I'm not going to be so twitchy going over all the time. You know, this is what we tried to do, is really concentrate on getting wins recently, and it's paid off because we're still in there. But final day, of course, with so much at stake, I'll be wanting to know the picture, but I'll wait for them to tell me and give me the nudge.
And finally, from me, the Leeds Rhinos take on Wakefield Trinity tonight as the top 2 in Super League go head-to-head. Both teams hope to do better than Castleford, who were thrashed 50 points to 4 by Hull KR last night. Christian Mapapalange scoring with less than a minute left of that game. There's going to be lots of nerves tomorrow afternoon in the final day of the season. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good, well, for some it's going to be a good one.
Yes,
anyway.
let's hope so. Fingers crossed.
Thank you very much, Harry.
You're welcome.
Well, Kerry's here in just a moment, but the organisers of the Great Yorkshire Show will be hoping for a repeat of today's glorious sunshine when the 167th show returns in July.
Yeah, this year's show launched in Harrogate this morning with the search underway for farming innovators to shape the future of the industry. 35,000 people a day are expected to pack into the showground for the 4-day event. South Yorkshire beef farmer Joe Seals says that there'll be plenty to inspire a new generation.
This year we've got the world's biggest combine harvester, 775 horsepower, quite a statement piece really. So I just hope that can spark a little bit of interest in a young mind.
The thing that's most important is that it's a good day out, whether you're a farmer or you're a visitor, that it becomes a good day out. We've got some important messages to get over, but it still needs to be a good day out.
Everyone wants a good day out, don't they? So we've got Keza here to let us know whether or not that kind of thing is on its way.
Well, this week we've done very well, haven't we? Already the 1st of May did really, I mean, if only it would stay for the whole of the weekend. This was Scarborough. A big thank you to Matt Allen for sharing it. It's been much better at the coast in terms of the feel of things today. Of course, we've had blue sky over the last few days, but absolutely lovely. Sunny and stays there. A big thank you to Paul, and also our parks and gardens continuing to look beautiful in the spring. So we just said goodbye to April, with it being May Day. Second sunniest for all of our counties apart from North Yorkshire, which came in at 3rd. So for most of us, it's been the sunniest April on record since 1910, since last year, which was the sunniest. Right. So yeah, our springs are getting warmer and windier and sunnier. Just thought I'd show you the snapshots of the last month in terms of temperature. We've been warmer, that's no surprise to anyone, I'm sure. Just talked about the sunshine, a lot of sunshine, but most of us have been talking about how dry it's been. We've hardly had any rainfall, and I thought I'd just give you this snapshot on the left of how much rain we've had. I think the wettest place across all of our patch was West Yorkshire, and that was only 50%. So at best, we've had half the amount of rainfall that we'd expect. If you look at the map on the right, that's the rainfall expected at 3 o'clock on Sunday morning currently. So it's the driest parts of the UK that are going to get the most rain over the next few days or so, which is good news because out and about our crops have been looking really dry. Gary sent us this from North Yorkshire, and also the bracken in Burbage very dry. Of course, please don't have a barbecue in the countryside. Have one tomorrow afternoon in the back of the garden and stay safe and have fun.
Thank you. We'll take that advice. Now, Sheffield's Children's Hospital is celebrating a world-first operation that saw a teenager from Sheffield survive a brain tumour helped by the kindness of strangers.
Ahmed Khan has Bernard-Soulier syndrome, an extremely rare condition affecting fewer than 100 people in the UK. It meant the surgery was even more perilous.
Yeah, experts say that it shows how important blood donations from ethnic minorities are. They're now hoping the operation will be written about in medical journals so that it will benefit patients right around the world. Adam Fowler has been to meet him.
17-year-old Ahmed Khan from Sheffield, strolling through the park with his mum. That may not seem unusual,
But it wouldn't have been possible without groundbreaking brain surgery. When he was 14, he came home from school with double vision. It turned out to be a brain tumour. His mum, a nurse, remembers the moment doctors gave her the news.
He said, yeah, it's a tumour. Oh my God, like even though it was in my head, but it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
To make matters even worse, when he was just a baby, he was diagnosed with Bernard-Soulier syndrome, a rare condition that stops the blood from clotting properly. If the brain tumour was left alone, it would have killed him. But the 13-hour surgery, because of his condition, was also life-threatening too. The way that surgeons here at Sheffield Children's Hospital got round it was by using donations of blood platelets, which look like this, and came from more than 100 different donors.
Although the surgery was very high risk, at least it gave him that chance. So some chance is better than no chance. So I remember sitting down with Ahmed and his family, and I felt we had to offer him that operation just to give him that chance.
The platelets were put into Ahmed before and during his surgery, although finding ones that matched him well was another challenge.
We don't have so many donors from ethnic minorities, and Ahmed's case just illustrates the need really for donations from all ethnic groups. We only had 2 in the whole country who were a perfect match for Ahmed.
Mariam was with him before he went into the operating theatre.
Tears were just rolling down. I just couldn't help it. And he said to me, Mom, don't worry, I'll see you tonight. And the 2 ladies who were just taking us to the theatres, they started crying in the lift. So, yeah, it was very hard, it was very tough. And then 2:30, phone call came, picked up the phone, and he said, we are halfway through the surgery, and then I've just come out to take a little break, so I thought just to let you know that he's doing fine. And that thing is just still in my heart. It was just so sweet of him. That gave me so much comfort, so much comfort.
Ahmed's immensely grateful to those who saved his life as his health continues to improve.
It's just still crazy to think about. I can walk a lot longer now. I'm exercising more. I'm outside quite a lot more as well. It's just returning all back to normal, I guess.
Ahmed's now studying mechanical engineering and has a bright future ahead of him after surviving the darkest of days. Adam Fowler, ITV News, Sheffield.
Oh, congratulations to Ahmed for getting over that ordeal. Well done.
Brilliant, isn't it? Right, the weather now. Here's Kerry.
Expect clear skies, island vibes and afternoons made for exploring. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire weather.
Hello again. Yes, warm and sunny across the region today. A great start for, of course, the Whitby Goth weekend. Plenty of blue sky and temperatures much better, having lost that southeasterly breeze along the coast. And wherever you were today, I hope you enjoyed your Friday. It's not quite as nice as we head into the weekend. We are going to get drier and brighter spells, especially tomorrow and hopefully through Monday. But it does become, in general, more unsettled and gradually becomes cooler. So we're importing from the south today. Hang on tomorrow, but then we've got a particularly unsettled spell later tomorrow into Sunday, then improving through Monday and eventually Tuesday and Wednesday, dragging some really quite cold air from the north as we head through into next week, at least for a time. In the meantime, we've had a front to the west today, so ahead of that we've had all the sunshine. That is pushing through now. It will generate a bit of cloud, some dampness in the air and low cloud over the hills by dawn. A milder night to come overnight tonight. And of course, if you can see it, where we get the clearest spells, it's a full moon, a flower moon. A big thank you to Marv for the shot. 5:29, 8:38 are your sun time. So tomorrow there will be some cloud around first thing, a damp feel to things with some low cloud over the hills. Middle part of the day, best for drier, brighter conditions with some hazy sunshine, and actually temperatures still warm up to around 20 Celsius, even out towards the coast. It's not really until the evening where we look to the south and the west for this system to develop. It pushes its way north and then eastwards. Still a bit of a question mark about where it will sit, but an unsettled spell Saturday night into Sunday, improving through Monday, but definitely feeling cooler, although temperatures actually nearer to normal than we've had this week.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire weather.
And from all of us here, we wish you a very happy bank holiday weekend.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Take care.